Salutations everyone and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered in the news this week. Will Smith said that After Earth was the biggest failure of his career. Trying to watch that movie with any bit of interest was the biggest failure in my movie watching career. This is What Mattered. Happy Valentine's Day, or Hearts and Hooves Day, or just Saturday for some of you folks. Hope you all have a Valentine. I have my waifu at least, so... Just kidding, my Valentine is of course my Shulk amiibo. Look at him. It's so rare. Oh yeah. Sheik will be here soon, my friends. And then Sonic soon after. Any hooting the blowfish, let's get to what mattered. Jon Stewart announced this week that he will be leaving The Daily Show sometime this year. Maybe when his contract is up, maybe earlier, even as soon as July. But we know that he's leaving, and after Colbert leaving last year, it leaves the Comedy Central Power Hour, very weak in a shadow of what it once was. We don't know what Stewart plans to do after the show, if he's going to have another show on another network or continue directing after making the movie Rosewater or whatever plans he has in store. And we don't know what Comedy Central's plans are for replacing him. Are they going to keep The Daily Show with so-and-so, or are they going to completely revamp that block of time for a different kind of show? Many different names have been thrown out there to replace Jon Stewart, including Asif Manvi, Jessica Williams, Patton Oswalt, Amy Poehler. People are talking about John Oliver, even though he has an awesome show on HBO, and I don't think they'll let him go. And with Jon Stewart leaving, John Oliver is really the only fair political voice out there on television that will put people's feet to the fire and call people out on their bullshit. Now that Colbert and soon-to-be Jon Stewart-less TV is all we got now. So who knows if they're going to replace him on The Daily Show or if they're going to just put in someone in there and revamp the show in a little bit. They've had, they've said a lot of funny people in the list of suggested, people to take over the show on various websites. Some of them are quite funny. Not all of them are good for, political tones and stories. Some of them are funny, but not funny enough to carry an entire show behind it. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do, because I think they need to, have an older voice out there. Not someone who's super young, someone who could, do what Jon Stewart did. Or at least, somewhat. I mean, they might not be as great as Jon Stewart, but, John Oliver did it, Stephen Colbert did it. Hopefully someone else will be able to step in to those shoes, because, we kind of need them. We kind of need them, because they're that Comedy Central Power Hour of The Daily Show and Colbert was, honestly the most trusted hour of news that anyone could get. People who watched it were more informed than anyone who watched NBC or CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or The Inquirer or however else other people got their news. This was, straight to the point, no bullshit, calling out people. And that's the kind of stuff that we've, been accustomed to these past few years, and it's something we need for the future. Speaking of replacing people, Spider-Man's coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Kevin Feige is going to help produce a solo Spider-Man film, while the other Marvel films have been pushed back one slot to incorporate for this, and people are wondering who's going to be the new Spider-Man. All the Sony leaks pointed to Andrew Garfield no longer being part of the project, and it sort of makes sense when they're kind of like a soft reboot, or maybe it's a hard reboot, who knows, whatever they're doing. He's going to make an appearance in a Marvel movie before Spider-Man, is most likely going to be Captain America Winter Soldier. I made a video about it if you want to watch it in full detail about my thoughts and, what could happen. And it looks like they're going for a younger Spider-Man, because Andrew Garfield's not coming back as much as I want him to. I thought he did an amazing job as the Amazing Spider-Man. I thought the Amazing Spider-Man movies were better than the Sam Raimi ones, because those ones were crap and, campy and goofy and, emo. Regardless, there's going to be a new web slinger out there, and I don't think they should go for young, because a young Spider-Man in a Civil War timeline makes no sense whatsoever. A young Spider-Man does not belong in Civil War. People are talking about the Percy Jackson kid. People are talking about the Maze Runner kid. People are talking about that comedian from Community. I forget his name. People are talking about like Jaden Smith and like just a whole bunch of like really young people, comedians, and people who aren't really great actors, people who just wouldn't pull off a good Peter Parker or Spider-Man. But it's not my decision. It's the corporate people. And hopefully they make a good decision. They go with an older Spider-Man. They incorporate him into Civil War correctly. And they can continue to make an awesome reboots, I guess. Hopefully not an origin story, because we don't need that. And Marvel said that they don't do origin stories anymore, even though it will technically still be Sony. But Kevin Feige will be co-producing, and he's produced all of the Marvel movies so far, so yet to have a misstep. Hopefully it's in good hands, and hopefully so is the web slinger. I understand being very anti-white people is very, very popular right now, and probably will be for at least the rest of my life. So people are throwing out there that it should be Miles Morales, not Peter Parker. It should be a black Spider-Man. It needs to be black because we don't need white people in this world anymore because blah, 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 white people suck. I get that. I get that, the internet hates white people and like it's becoming more and more like Tumblr. But I think Peter Parker is the best Spider-Man. I think is the good Spider-Man. I mean, there's some other Spider-Mans out there. I don't know a whole lot about Miles Morales. I'm not a spectacular Spider-Man kind of guy. But he's the Spider-Man in Civil War. He's the Spider-Man that I grew up with in the comic books. He's the character that I like. I don't know these other Spider-Men. This is the one I like, and this is the one I would like to see continue on in the cinematic universe, no matter who has the rights. Just because that's the character that's good. The Hitman Agent 47 trailer came out this past week. It's coming out August 28th. Odd release date. But another video game getting another movie adaptation. There was a Hitman movie a couple of years ago that didn't do well. People don't like the way that this one looks because, blah, 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 Jason Statham isn't Agent 47. It was supposed to be Paul Walker, but after he died last year, it was given to some other guy who does more British hoity-toity movies. It looks like Agent 47 might be a bad guy in this film. It's not really clear in the trailer. Definitely looks more interesting than their past try at a Hitman movie. And, I'm not really sold on it. They've yet to make a good video game movie adaptation. Prince of Persia was kind of whatever. And then we have two animated, ones coming out soon with Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper. So we'll see how they mix into that foray of movie genres. As far as action goes, and a video game franchise that really hasn't been all that relevant the past few years, and let's face it, not the most spectacular storyline, still could be a good, just nonsensical action film. If people like it, I'll probably see it, but if the reviews are just like any other, video game movie, then it's another pass, unfortunately. Speaking of video game movies, the Assassin's Creed movie has gone into production. They're not doing principal photography yet because they don't have a cast. They're supposed to start shooting, I believe, in August. Maybe it's July. It's set for a December 21st, 2016 release. And we have some casting news. Marion Cotillard, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Talia al Ghul from Dark Knight Rises. She's an Oscar winner. And I think a perfect fit for an Assassin's Creed movie, no matter which assassin you're doing. Everyone says it's probably going to be Ezio. He's the popular one. He's the one who has a built-in, trilogy or quadrilogy. And I think that's really, really good casting. Who knows if she's going to be... She could play anybody or anything. I think that's really, really good casting. And, hopefully this bodes well for whoever they're going to cast and when they're going to say who plays Desmond. If Desmond's going to be in the movie at all, is it just going to be Ezio? Who knows how they're going to handle it, but some pretty good signs so far, and I love me Assassin's Creed, so I hope it's the first ever amazing video game movie, let alone good one. BioWare devs announced this week that there is a multiplayer component to the new Mass Effect game. You can't call it Mass Effect 4 because it doesn't follow Shepard, and they've been really, really clear on that. But what's the big news? They announced multiplayer. Well, I mean, they put a job listing for someone to help an online experience, but it's probably going to be multiplayer. Maybe it's co-op. Some people have like really stupid wishes on what they can do with online and Mass Effect, but the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, for those of you who don't know or don't watch my Twitch stream every single week, at least once a week, the Mass Effect multiplayer is absolutely amazing. They struck gold with it on Mass Effect 3. They gave us free DLC month after month after month, just all kinds of characters to use, all kinds of powers, all kinds of weapons, all kinds of maps, except for, Condor and London and Rio, dumb ones. But the Mass Effect multiplayer is just amazing. It's one of my favorites and still strong today. How many multiplayers, components of a game can you still say is strong 3 years after the fact? Now say it without saying Call of Duty, and your list is short to non-existent. Really, really excited for any information that BioWare has for us about Mass Effect. BioWare canceled the game in their Austin studio, so now they're gonna work on stuff for like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, so hopefully we can get a release date someday or a title, and I would really like it to come out this year. Probably won't, but maybe next year. And the multiplayer is what I'm kind of looking forward to the most because it's so damn good, which says something because the story mode for all the Mass Effect games were amazing. Thank you all for watching. That was What Mattered. One of these comes out every single Saturday. If you would like to see those, you can hit the subscribe button. Any comments are appreciated, and I will respond to any questions that you have down below, and I will see you guys next time.